Real quick, I've been meaning to say this to y'all. A lot of you have sent me some wonderful letters, some books, a cute little purse with sardines on it. I'm going to take a picture of that. A sweet gal sent me a large thing of animal crackers for my goats. You can see what's left of that, so I've been meaning to show this. But thank you all for thinking of us and our farm. I never, I don't expect anything from you guys, but I do want you to know that you are appreciated, and we just thank you and love you. And hey, the goats love you too, hey? Okay. Can you hear them? You might be able to hear them. So, good morning, guys. Welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. It's about 10:30 in the morning on this. Is it Wednesday? Is it Tuesday or is it Wednesday? Do you know what year it is anymore? I'm joking. Did you hear them? They know they're about to get their next bottle. Bunch of little varmints, bunch of little cutie patooties. Well, how are you doing this morning? Do you need a hug? I do. We're gonna be hugging on each other more than ever. And I thought I would make a video early in the morning. And yes, I realize that I'm a hot mess. And you know what, folks? I think you should always take pride in doing the best you can for yourself. But hard work, this is what hard work looks like. And I'm not ashamed of it. And it is what it is, because we're going to have these conversations, like I said last week or 2 weeks ago. It's going to be what it is. There's a lot to talk about on a moment-to-moment basis. And I'm going to try to do my best to participate. As I said yesterday, and I said the other day, I think it's really hard for content creators right now I'll be honest with you. We need to talk about the normal things, health and, the farm and all the things that we're trying to continue to do on a daily basis. But the world is absorbed in a lot of chaos right now. And so sometimes it's kind of hard to concentrate. Let's be honest. It has nothing to do with your lack of faith. It's just we're human and there's so much going on. So we're going to talk through all of that as we go along. So it's interesting to see a couple of things. I have a couple of things. I thought about making 2 videos, but I'm going to just put it into one because it's going to be an awesome day. And we're going to make it an awesome day. We're going to make it the day that we make it to be with productivity. Please continue to do the best that you can for your wealth in terms of your health. Your health is your number one asset. I hope you're eating very, 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 eating wisely, okay, so that you can thrive, so that you can continue to persevere through this chaotic world. Well, here's the deal. I saw this, I sort of saw some things floating over the weekend, and I thought it was peculiar. And then last night when we were coming home from the gym, I saw a couple things float on. Here's the problem. You don't know what's real and what's not real. And no one has the time to absolutely backtrack every single headline or thing that you see. Well, first of all, we know that the enlistment age, I guess it's for the U.S. Army, was raised. Y'all correct me on whatever. I did share that. It's been upgraded to, I think there's some deer over there, upgraded to 42. Interesting. I'm sure you saw that. So there's that. The next thing that I've been sort of been talking about with James is this, where are some of these people in all of this? There's this discussion over the past couple of days about J.D. Vance and, that maybe he wasn't really fully on board with this whole thing. I said to James, it's funny, up until about a week or two ago, you didn't see much from Ted Cruz. It's like certain individuals, if they've stuck their neck out there, and or they've said some really crazy things, they pull them back. It's like there's this pullback. And it's almost like there's this saving face, saving grace with J.D. Vance. Now, I don't have any ill will towards the vice president. I wish him well, and I understand his wife is expecting. Hope that it is a very healthy and bouncing baby. Love all of that. But I will tell you, if you go back a couple of years ago, I wasn't a real big, how do you say it? My skepticism of him was great. When he was chosen as the VP pick, and this was in the very beginning. I'm sort of a person that I'm very skeptical of the whole idea of leopards changing their spots. And there's been a lot of things that have been said about him in recent years, and it's interesting to see how they've created this narrative about him. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. And then now we have the whole thing that Iran wants to talk to him. I don't get the impression that Iran, so that I sound intellectual today. If I say Iran, I'm just a dumb hillbilly. But whichever way you want to skin that cat, are you really believing that they want to really talk to much of anybody? I don't know. I kind of think not. I don't know. I mean, let's hope and pray I'm wrong. So we have this timeline. Today's Wednesday, I guess. We have this timeline through Friday. I will tell you this, that my relative that is has already flown to where he needs to be for deployment. He was supposed to ship out today, and that has been postponed tentatively till Saturday. So I do want to let you know about that. So who knows what's really going on? But so as far as JD goes, I mean, my first instinct and thought was James was driving down the driveway last night, and I held the phone up at him and I said, they're trying to pull him back for maybe a 28 run, even though there's also discussion that he may not be interested. We don't know what's going on for obviously the midterms coming up. We don't know what's going on in terms of 28. We don't know if there's disagreement within the administration. I would think that there would be. I mean, I mean, I never was much about having an opinion of any sort, particularly about Pete Hegseth. But when you look to Pete Hegseth and you say, "Oh, I think it was you that said to go for it," that I thought, "Woo!" Throwing him out there. There's some interesting verbiage being put out there. You don't know if there's some backtracking. You don't know if there's some future name blaming. You don't know if there's some saving face. You don't know if there's pivoting. You don't know. I mean, is Marco Rubio going to be the forefront individual? Little Marco. You remember all that? Little Marco? Remember how we didn't like people and we made fun of people and people were going to jail and all these things, and now they're good people and they're our buddies and all that. I mean, I know. For those of you that want to defend these things, I mean, you kind of went, "Oh, okay." And I know there's a lot of calls right now for Tulsi Gabbard to stand up. I mean, I don't know. So we're all sitting back and watching how this plays out. But I will tell you, just to give you a heads up, I'm not telling you to do one thing or another, other than what I will say. The timeline for the deployment of my family member has been pushed to Saturday. So I'm just going to say this loosely because I think this is the responsible thing to say. I'd go over my pantry. You should always be doing that. That's not new. I'm not telling you to freak out and go do anything, but you might want to make sure you have extra gas cans filled up in the garage. You might want to make sure that whatever you feel is an important prep in your home for a time period, might want to consider making sure those are still good. Your toilet paper. Funny, haha, right? Your basics, your basics, dog food, cat food. Thank goodness we're moving into spring weather, so hopefully a lot of people can break through the winter cold and things like that. Just, your backup emergency fund, because we still operate under the dollar. All the things that we've talked about for years upon years, make sure you're squared away with the things that you need in a very basic crisis period. You were told 2 weeks or so, with COVID. As we're it's kind of like we're about to be treated like that again. I know, but I'm just saying, I have the EBGBs about all that. I'm trying to not, I look at it and I go, I've done the best that I can. I continue to work every day, and I'm praying, and I'm going to make sure, right? So even if you are on a specific diet, I have said this many, many gajillion times, make sure your backups for backups is on par. And throw some sardines throw some sardines up there, y'all. You're going to need that extra nutrition. You're hungry enough, you'll eat anything, whether it has eyeballs, a spine, and skin or not. Y'all going to eat it. You would. You would. If nothing else, your chicken and your dogs. My dogs love sardines. They beg for them. They love them. Love them. But I want to just update you real quick that last night, if you watched a video, I made 2 videos about it back in October, I believe, October 26th, I put up a video about the Holy Man. I saw him yesterday. We did. We saw him last week, and I didn't have an opportunity to talk to him, and we saw him last night. He was wearing, it was the cutest thing, he was wearing his bright, big Go Vols Tennessee orange baseball cap. And I walked up to him and I said, "How are you doing, sir?" And he was like, "Hello." And I said, "I didn't get to talk to you last week." I said, "But I said I couldn't miss you today." I said, "I like that baseball cap, bright orange, a big white tee." And he just smiled real big. I said, "I've been thinking about you. I wanted to get your opinion on what you think about the current events." And he looked at me. This was what's so precious. And he said, "Which current events are you talking about?" And I said, "Well, what do you think about with Iran and Israel?" And he said, "I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not watching the news." He said, "I know basically what's going on, but I don't watch the news. I don't watch any news anymore." He said, "I stay completely in the Word of God." He said, "But I'm being told from people, basically of what's going on." And I said, "Well, what do you think about it?" I said, "We had our big discussion about things to come and a famine." And because that's, if you go back in the video on October 26th, he warns about a famine. He warns about horrible things coming to the United States of America. I don't mean to doomsday you. If you want to have more reference in terms of what I'm talking about, go back to that video. It's October the 26th. Just go down to my playlist. I may link it if I remember to. And he looked at me, he said, "If you knew all the things God was revealing to me," he said, "you'd pass out." He said, I said, "Well, what about the famine?" He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "And it's going to reach here and far." He did that. He did his arm. He said, "It's going to reach far. It's going to reach far." He said, "I have some good news." And I said, "Well, I'll take any good news." He said, "People are waking up." He said, he said, "I'm seeing it." He said that people are beginning to wake up. And guys, I believe that too. I think for those of us that have really tried to hold on to hope and believe as best we can and pray and do our part, I think you are being convicted, and I think your conviction is showing to other people, because I'm seeing, I'll get some of these wackadoo comments from time to time, and I talked about that yesterday, and I shared that with you because I think it's important for you to see these things are happening, and that's my way to relate, and you to relate to me, that we understand that is going to happen to us, and that's going to happen to you. Don't be surprised when it does. Don't be offended. I mean, I'm not offended. It's just insane to see, but it's what's to be expected, and we are to share. But he said, people are waking up. People are seeing it. And a word of caution with that. This makes me fall back into my human thought, and I don't want to say fear. The more people wake up and regardless of their differences, they start going, no, we're not, the people, when the people keep, as a large portion say, we're not having this, I have a concern of what could come next. And it could be 100 things. So what can we do? We have to realize that the beast within us, have you ever heard that? The wolf you feed, the beast you feed. I actually know the woman who originally wrote that as a Cherokee story or a parable or whatever. If you came to the Great Appalachian Homesteading Conference, Eagle Woman, you met her. I know it's been several years ago, but she wrote that, the original story. And like in 1992 or something like that. It's very old. That's not very, very old, but it's not like it was written a couple years ago. That's been around a while. And so the beast within you, what you feed is who you're going to be. So when you say, I'm going to transform in faith, and I'm going to eat better, and I'm going to live better, and I'm going to pray harder, and I'm going to walk with Jesus, and I'm not going to be offended, and I expect these things, and I'm going to prepare because I feel like that is my obligation and duty as a responsible person, mother, wife, husband, citizen, then that's what you're going to be. When we let all of these things consume us otherwise, hate, anger, laziness, being a glutton, being all those other things, and that's what you're going to be. So who are you going to be? Because here's the thing. I believe him when he says people are waking up. I do. I think people are like, wait, whoa. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Put a little Lord's Supper up in it. What? No, wait a minute. That is a huge and real thing. For anybody to tell you otherwise, I'm telling you is a lie because I'm not seeing it. Even if some people are like, I mean, at a minimum, I'm seeing people going, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. They're trying to, I feel like that's their way of trying to find discernment to figure things out. And we may never figure all things out. And I hope all things work out. I do. I really do. But you're being shaken. This is like God is just like shaking us. Did you see yesterday also, I read the headline and I looked it up this morning. What is it? Pope Leo? No, I'm not Catholic and I don't know a whole ton about it. But did you see where like I think he already had it. Don't quote me. A summit because of the rise in the occult and Satanism and evil in the world. And I mean, good for you. Where you been, buddy? If you're a Catholic, I mean, even you have to sit there and go, well, it's about time. Tell us something we don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just hanging out with these Pentecostals a little bit too much lately, but I'm just saying, folks, you cannot escape what you're watching in front of you, okay? And when you decide to pick which wolf you choose to feed, you're going to see it even harder. Because what you're going to see is when you say, I am going to transform and I am going to do these things in the name of Jesus Christ, you're going to see the push and the resistance. If you choose the other, because there's only one or the other. There is no middle ground anymore. You know that, right? I mean, you may try to be passive and not have an opinion with human beings and be like, I'm not going to say anything. But God knows where you are. And then you're going to be tested on that. Who are you going to be? At what point are you going to speak for what's right and what's wrong? And when you choose the other beast, or you choose the wolf of darkness, however you want to phrase that, all kinds of things could happen. You might even actually be rewarded in a time period. But the end result will never be good. So folks, we have to keep praying out there and keep doing our best. Everybody's going through their own personal trials and tribulation. But what you're seeing just circle around you is, in fact, indeed, I 100% believe the spiritual warfare that we've been talking about. It's always been here, but it has really amped up in recent years. But I want to tell you again, I would calmly today, take a piece of paper and go to your pantry, your backup pantry. Look at your medical supplies real quick. Look at your lead. Look, just do the appropriate things. If you haven't, especially if you did it yesterday, congratulations. If you did it last week, you're good. But a lot of people have probably, I think everybody got a little comfortable. Stuff is stupid, okay? But you probably were like, I expected this much stupidity. Let's just call it stupid, right? Crazy. But it's at a whole nother level, right? Yeah. Who knows the timeline of things to come? We don't know. No one knows. And if anybody tries to tell you, they don't. That's a farce. Don't fall for that deception. But what we do know is that we need to be doing our due diligence. So I totally encourage you to go look at your pantry, look at your freezer. Do you need to rotate some things this week? Do you need to back up a couple of things this week? Do you have those like I said, those gas cans, are they filled up? How are you on your medicine? Is it good to have an extra bag of cat food tucked away somewhere? Just the typical things. Not even saying that something crazy could happen like that, although we know that it always could. But for those that, again, I've said this a million times in closing. If you knew in 2019 what you knew by the second half of 2020, how would you have done things differently? You should always be moving in that mode. You don't have to lose your mind and spend $1,000 today. But staying ahead of the curve as best you can always help you with your stress level and easing a burden. And by all means, please get the things that are truly needed for survival and that you truly need and that you truly will eat. Like I said, if you're hungry enough, you're going to eat those sardines with the eyeballs. And somebody said the other day or yesterday, they were like, do you eat those with the eyeballs? And I'm like, where are you getting this? They're fillets. Like, where are you getting eyeballs from? But she didn't know. That's okay. So I say some of this in jest, but I'm really serious. So make sure you're up to date, okay? Make sure you're up to date. I am planning to do an Aldi inflation video. I keep up with that. We've been doing that for the last 4 or 5 years. I may have to look at all of my data and see if we can do some comparisons. I may just go this time. We've done that before where we've compared this year to that year, or certain items to other items. But I may just go do a standard one just to see, because it's already, we're pushing into April. So we'll get an early spring update. See where we are, okay? And obviously, it's going to be at one store. We've been consistent with one store in one location in East Tennessee, so it doesn't necessarily reflect what you're paying. Gas last night, gas is anywhere around here from $3.47 to $3.69, depending on where you go. And I don't understand, why would you go up a mile up the road and pay $3.69 when you can come down here and pay $3.47? Why that happens, I don't know. That's crazy town to me, but some people do it, but whatever. But that's where we're falling. Diesel is running anywhere from $4.99 to $5.29. So I want to date that on this video. So I will, when I do the inflation video, which may be tonight or tomorrow, hopefully, I'm going to know what gas is, okay? It's just a marker. It's just as everybody calls it now, it's a data point. So that's where we are. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you. Wanted to catch up with you. Use your discernment out there. But notice the things that are kind of at play. By the time I get this video up, something else will have happened and changed everything that I said. That's how fast everything is moving. It's impossible. But people are waking up. I believe that. And that could cause a lot of things further to happen. But we're just going to walk through it. Like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. Go check out your pantry. See where you are today, okay? Don't panic. Be cool. Say a prayer. Just know where you are. And it wouldn't hurt for you, make a little run here, make a little run there. Don't, just plan. Be smart. Stay ahead of all curves. All curves. All the time. Because that's what we do. And I'll see you on the next video.